Chezz Kids Archive is one of the most chilling, underrated ARGs that we have at the moment. With 2 YouTube channels, 2 social medias, an entire website that is full to the brim with hidden pages and secrets, as well as a Reddit account. Judging by the length of this video, we've got a lot of ground to cover, so strap in as I take you through Chezz Kids Archive. In the year 2000, a small group of up-and-coming programmers, designers, and animators create an online interactive portal known as Chezz.com. This team, led by a woman known as Sarah Trills, set out to make a website that both children and adults could enjoy, with minigames, movies, stories, and a quirky cast of anthropomorphic characters. Chezz.com set out to be something similar to that of our own childhood websites such as Neopets and ABC Mouse. While Chezz.com was loved by few and forgotten by most, it went down in 2004 and since then has been considered lost media. The Chezz Kids Archive accounts have set out to find and document media pertaining to Chezz.com, with our first piece of lost media being Chezz.com website uncovered footage. This uncovering of the website starting with an opening landing page showing us a woman with brown hair and a green sweater. Although the footage is low quality, we can read "created by Sarah Trills" underneath this photo. The person capturing this footage goes through some of the pages on the website, the opening splash screen, an overview of the world of Chezz.com, and the category selection screen. They try to click the games and more before eventually the site glitches out, flashing the empty created by portrait on the screen. Even in its active years, it appears as though Chezz.com had some operating issues. Moving along to our next video on the channel, Reading with Ben minigame found. Our first footage of one of the several minigames on this site. This minigame starring the character Benny the Bear. Benny sits in a room with 8 books on the shelves to read from. We're shown the Trouble on Mayhill Farm book, starring Harry the Cat. However, this video being from the 2000s is rendered in glorious 144p and isn't legible at all. Thankfully, the Chezz Kids Archive Instagram has a video where they've managed to decode what the book is saying. Way down on the hillside of Marlin, Oregon, lived Harry the Red Cat. Every day he tended to his crops and lived a happy life alone from anyone. Harry was happy. Harry was as free as a farm cat. One day, it was hot out, and Harry saw his crops were beginning to wilt. He panicked and worried all his hard work would be for nothing. All his berries gone, all his carrots gone, all his flowers and peas gone. It was now or never. Harry knew that without rain, he couldn't have his crops grow. So he thought and he thought until he got an idea. To save his crops, Harry would take the water from his water heater inside his little house and cover the farm in the water. Sure, it's boiling, but it has to work. Harry proceeds into his house where things seem to start breaking on the website once again. We get a single frame of a forest behind Harry's house as Harry walks down his hallway into a very dark room. He slowly begins to crop back into frame before disappearing entirely. A distorted audio rings on loop, and Harry quickly appears and flickers, revealing what appears to be a woman's face behind him. The pages fly, and we're abruptly taken to the end of the book. Our recorder presses the back button, and we're in the library again. But this time, Benny is missing. What a strange story, using boiling water from the water heater to try and save your crops. Seems rather impractical to me. After this section, the recorder goes to another game. You press buttons and are shown a variety of things. The first button shows a cute kitten, the second what appears to be a photo of Jesus, and the third, well, I'll just let it play. Once again, we're shown more imagery of a forest in this woman's face. Immediately after this encounter, the website crashes and boots us back to the home screen, ending the video. Forest adventure footage. Where the titles typically say lost media found, a new word has been added showing us Sarah Trills found. The video starts showing us a home in the middle of the forest with Enter and an arrow hovering above it. Upon entering the house, we have a photo of Chester, a photo from the Star Catcher minigame with Lola, and a photo of a green person and a red person behind a blue background with what appears to be a heart between them. Clicking the photo of Chester takes us to the Forest Adventure minigame. The instructions read, "You are wandering alone in the Webster Woods. There are many secrets and treasures to be found, but watch out. Tricksters are known to live in these woods." We have a point-and-click adventure set in some very dark woods. We pass an owl and come upon an opening with a potted red flower. Clicking on it doesn't appear to do anything. The next area we enter along the path has eyes staring at us from the darkness. A missing poster appears for seemingly one of the Chezz kids. Though nearly illegible, we can make out the name Woodsy. Could this be the work of some of the tricksters the instructions have warned us about? We continue onto the path as a video of someone walking in the woods plays. If we turn the captions on, we reveal someone saying, "She has to be out here somewhere." Abruptly, there's a cut with a secret found screen. We're taken to an interview with Sarah Trills herself that goes as follows. What inspired you to make a kid's website, you and your team?
Well, gosh, I'd say it goes back a while. I've always been into coding and making little things for my friends to share around. I've been messing with computers since I was able to type. My dad was a technical engineer, so we would get all that stuff early. But, I'd say specifically Chezz.com really isn't just a kid's website. It's an entertainment website. Anyone can enjoy our games. There are probably things in that game that will go over kids' heads, and then things that older people really wouldn't understand. But we wanted to make it something accessible, something fun for everybody.
How big is the team working on your website?
Well, including me, it's about 6 or 7. I do most of the coding. My friend Ellen Masterson does all the artwork, all of it. Everyone else helps with coding and music and sound and video and just doing everything they can to make Chezz.com stand out, be its own thing.
A little more info on the behind the scenes of the site as well as a new name, Ellen Masterson. However, it appears the audio was cut before Sarah got the chance to mention anyone else on the team. We're then brought back to the red flower. The flower then distorts while an audio clip cuts in, and we're back to the video of the forest. The game quickly boots us back to the home in the woods. This time, the portrait in the home is void of the red character. The background is now replaced with black, and the heart is gone. Clicking the portrait brings up a missing poster for Sarah Trills herself. Tiny Tim's The Spaceship song plays in the background. The poster fades away, leaving Sarah's face staring at us. The site begins to bug out, and various sound cues start playing. Instead of the usual description of contacting Chezz kids for additional information, we have a modified one reading, "Sarah Trills is still missing to this day. Please contact the Gray Pass police station with any information that may help us. All current findings." This next video is a compilation of the previous 3 videos we just watched, with some bonus content added on. The beginning of the video consists of some interviews, with the most notable being the last of this woman who remembers playing the same forest game we just witnessed, before stating this.
It was the forest one, but at one point the web closes and it was hard to reach the final level. Also, whatever happens to Sarah, hopes she's okay. God bless her son.
The last half of this video contains bonus content taking us through every character's bio pages. They're much too distorted to really tell what we're looking at. Through a cleaner frame, we can tell that these boxes here are food, and this one is knick-knack. Chester likes meat, and his knick-knack is a Sega Game Gear. Benny likes PB&J and books. Lola, I'm honestly at a complete loss. Ticking Tim's food, honestly, to me, looks like a rat, but who knows. His knick-knack is definitely a calculator, though. Kabuko has no information. Hopper the rabbit has carrots in both things. Harry the cat, on the other hand, whatever this is, it isn't food. It almost looks as if it could be a photo of a human, but there's no knowing for sure. Regardless of what it is, we can be guaranteed that that's not any type of food. His knick-knack appears to be some sort of figurine of himself. Woodsy Worm appears quickly before distorting and ending the video. If we're fast enough though, we can grab the frame. Her food is honey, and her knick-knack is nothing but a dark void. Also, who is this creeping up behind her? Top 10 excerpt.
The game was made out of a small, close-knit developer team who have seemed to have disappeared off the face of the earth in one way or another.
We now have confirmation that not only did Sarah seemingly drop off the face of the earth when the site went down, so did everyone else. We also have acquired footage coming from someone known as Lal M9. This next video is by far one of the biggest information dumps that this series has to offer. Found footage birthday minigame. The game starts with Chester explaining how he's planning a secret surprise party for his friend Lola, but a terrible storm came through and blew all the presents and party supplies away, and he needs our help to find them. He starts messing up his speech when we get another glimpse of Sarah coming through the screen.
Make sure you don't tell Lola. Also, make sure you don't tell Lola. Make sure you... Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Once Chester is done talking to us, we start in his home. A present lays underneath this table, and we get an animation of the present opening. It's a nice necklace. We take a step outside and see Lola.
Chester, I've been looking all over for you. Who's your friend? Anywho, do you know what today is? Oh, come on, you know. What? You forgot? I mean, how about you see yourself away from me, you mangy cat?
Hold on a second. Did you catch it? For a single frame behind Lola, we can see what appears to be a body in a pretty poor state by the look of things. After talking with Lola, we head over to Ticking Tim, where we have yet another encounter with some red flowers. Ticking Tim invites us to play a game with him, to win back one of the presents that he has found. However, the recorder turns him down.
So, what do you say? Oh, you say? Well, come back when you're ready to get your precious gift back.
And we continue into the windmill. Inside the house, we find a photograph of a woman with brown hair and a green dress, presumably Sarah, with a man in a tan suit standing outside of what appears to be a house in the woods. In the other room, we find another present, this time a yo-yo. As Chester congratulates us, things take a turn.
Hey, nice job!
As we go down the hallway and attempt to go through the yellow door, we get a split frame of a room and are taken to a telephone again. The audio in this section is incredibly grating and distorted to the point I wouldn't want to subject anyone to that. So here's basically the breakdown of what I can gather from it. This man appears to be calling Sarah for the second time, wondering if she's coming to the studio. He explains how he'd understand if not, since something happened the night prior. But the site seems to be experiencing a lot of bugs at the moment and they really need her to come in. After this, we're taken to a balcony where we grab another present and are back to the room with the photo of Sarah and the man. However, the photo's background is now black. Going back to Ticking Tim, he challenges us again, yet this time his audio is fairly corrupted. When given the challenge to partake in his game, this time we're only given the option of yes, with whatever this is beside it. We're taken to a tic-tac-toe screen, and for those with a vigilant eye, you'll notice our haunting picture of Sarah behind the board. We win the first round, but in the second round, it seems as if Tim wasn't willing to lose so easily, as he begins to play out of the boundaries of the game. The third round comes, and Tim is completely gone. We place our first move before the same photo we saw appear behind Lola is played multiple times on the board, progressively corrupting the game, before we're taken to a rather disturbing image of what appears to be a person's face. This holds for a moment before...
Oh, you win!
We receive the gift from Tim, which fittingly is a clock. Tim appears once again with what appears to be his face melting. With Tim taken care of, we continue along the path and get a very interesting tooltip. If 100 of your friends went missing, would you try to find them? We load into what appears to be a treehouse. Benny the bear stands outside of it. He comes up, stares at us, doesn't say a word, and then disappears, allowing us entrance into the tree. When we enter the treehouse, it's incredibly dark, and as we move further through it, a present appears. This present opens, showing the man from earlier and a different phone. Presumably, this is the phone he used to call Sarah with earlier. The audio is heavily distorted, but what I can gather, it says the following.
It sounds like, all I've been getting from you recently is
It appears as if he's pretty distraught and almost in disbelief as he's on this call. We're then met with a very unsettling system error screen, with the words, "uh-oh," as the site crashes. The man comes back, and we get more of the conversation.
because I talked to you when we were in the studio, and it's like whenever I try to talk outside of work, you just aren't very receptive, so I just, was wondering if everything was okay between us. If you want to talk about something, you can. If not, I understand too. I just really care about you. Yeah, just please, and we can talk.
Immediately following this, we have a very low audio that can be heard. If we reverse it and bump the volume up, we can hear the following.
I had such a great day today. I just thank you so much for saying yes. You're really the girl for me. I promise I'm always gonna put my all out there.
We then head to Harry's farm where we find another present. This time, it's a vase of, get this, red flowers. Specifically, red Gerba daisies. Another present appears slowly, revealing Sarah's face again. We're taken back to Chester's room with the present still being in frame. We click the phone where we're met with distorted audio blaring and the face of the man who we've been hearing through the video, now gruesomely beaten. Sarah's missing poster once again shows and the man's screams can be heard. Panicking, the player repeatedly taps the red door again before it stops. Silence and darkness. We're then met face to face with Woodsy Worm, wearing a nearly photorealistic green sweater. The phone the man used to call lay on the floor in front of her. Clicking on Woodsy brings her into frame before she distorts. Low screams of agony can be heard in the background as the same song from before plays. More Woodsies appear with the same picture from the tic-tac-toe game can be seen behind her. The gift found text appears. Lola appears and utters,
You did this all for me? Oh, Chezz!
before glitching out. We're left with the picture of Sarah and the man as Chester leaves us with an eerie message.
Looks like you saw something you really weren't supposed to see.
Sarah's face appears once again as the Chezz Kids cast slowly fades into view, with the text popping up reading, "We love you, Sarah." Sarah's face disappears and we're once again met with the yes button. How's everyone doing? Are you still holding in alright? I know that video was a lot to take in, so let's combine everything we know and get everyone back on track. So we have a website created by Sarah Trills. Both her and everybody who worked on the website mysteriously disappeared after the site shut down in 2004. Something really bad seems to have happened to Sarah, and it seems to have something to do with the woods. We were also introduced to a man who seems to have romantic ties to Sarah. This man also appears to have suffered from some rather unpleasant circumstances. Their relationship appears to be on the rocks as Sarah wasn't very receptive to him anymore.
Try to talk outside of work, you just aren't very receptive.
We notice this through the portraits of the red and green lovers and the photo of the two. We have that odd story about Harry using boiling water to save his crops, as well as this series' obsession with red flowers. Woodsy Worm and Sarah seem to be connected in the fact that they're both missing. And we have 4 characters in the series so far. Sarah Trills and her mystery lover, Ellen Masterson, one of the art directors at Chezz.com, and Lau M9. Now that we're all up to speed, let's continue our dive into this haunting online world. After the birthday video was uploaded, a second channel appeared correlated to Chezz Kids. The channel titled Alahina Hydrothorus Vera. Forget about it. The channel had a first video uploaded titled the exact same thing. This name being an anagram for Sarah and Harry, lovers in death. A Twitter post August 6 to the Chezz Kids account has what appears to be a link, but something is wrong with it. As is going to be the case with most of the puzzles in this series moving forward, they're either going to be an anagram or a
visionaire
cipher. For brevity, I won't explain how to solve these ciphers, aside from you need a key. The key typically being a word, a phrase, or a set of numbers. The cipher key for this link was Alahina Hydrothorus Vernanana. And looky there, a YouTube link. Punching this into YouTube brings us to a rather unsettling pair of eyes staring back at us. The title of the video is Play That Song Again, and the description reads, "You know I love all the songs you wrote for me, Harrison," as well as including another cipher to solve. This one being the title of the video itself, and yet again, another YouTube link. Truly chilling stuff going on in this series. I can't make out a single thing from the audio, but oddly enough, the title and description reads, "She was only 17, if you know what I mean." Lyrics directly from the Beatles song, "I Saw Her Standing There."
Well, she was just 17, if you know what I mean.
The following day, Chezz Kids posted another cipher. You get the drill by this point. The key was "Forget About Us," taking us to the video Apple Tree. A photo of the seemingly all too familiar woods can be seen. The same man from the phone call in the birthday video can be heard singing. The song he's singing is "Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree with Anyone Else But Me" by the Andrews Sisters. As the video plays, we can notice what appears to be a figure coming more into focus on the left side of the screen, before Sarah shows up once more, with the quote, "His voice was so pretty." Heading to the description, we get the reply, "I think so too." I think it's safe to say whoever this Harrison/Harry person is, it is likely to be Sarah's romantic partner. Whoever is running this YouTube account seems to have more information on Sarah and Harry's demise, or might be the one responsible. But for the time being, we have another upload from the archive channel to take a look at. Lola Birthday Cat Minigame End Cutscene. Lola walks into her home. I can't help but notice the portrait of someone in a green sweater and someone in a red sweater with Lola between them on the back wall. The Chezz Kid gang all storms in the house before greeting Lola for her surprise party.
Wait, what is all this?
It's your birthday party, silly.
Yes, a party! Chester has spent all day setting it up for you. And of course, we got you all these gifts for your special day.
And don't forget about us. We were busy making all the cakes and
Notably, the music cuts out when Harry begins to speak. He even cuts off what Tim was saying. The voice actor for Harry is incredibly low quality compared to the rest of the voice actors, and Lola thanks us for the help before glitching out once again.
You did this all for me? Oh, Chester!
Aw, hey, I can't take all the credit. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Oh, well, thank you.
A quick flash to black reveals what appears to be the same body from the Apple Tree video, standing in the doorway. Cutting to the final screen, Lola sits at the head of the table. "Great job" hangs above her head. This sits for a moment before Lola disappears, showing that Sarah's photo was sitting behind her. The video hangs like this for a moment before more distorted audio rings throughout the video. An image of a body with the text "File Missing" above slowly creeps into frame. We cut to a fairly dark screen, but if we boost the brightness a bit, we get the same pair of eyes from that "Play It Again" video. The next scene is a photo of Sarah and Harrison coming more into focus as we can hear Harrison repeatedly saying the phrase, "Forget about us." The key to the Apple Tree cipher. Once again, we have another Visionaire cipher in the description. Using the code LOLA, we get taken to the video link for The Lock. These eyes are starting to become a recurring theme. The text reads, "One of you holds the key." The description has another cipher that when solved with the key 6, we get embittered in the phrase "key is embittered." Embittered meaning to be angry or resentful at being treated unfairly. Could this have been about Sarah? Harrison? Ellen? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Kabuko, another unlisted video that can be found on the Chezz Kids archive playlist. It's another menu screen for the game Kabuko Delivery. The menu screen crashes as we get a flicker of a woman with what appears to be a melted lower half of her face, before the video ends. Untitled video. The video starts with a slide telling us we're listening to a rebroadcast from the 2007 radio show Ken W 1090 FM. The individual being interviewed chose to remain anonymous and at this moment cannot give consent for this audio to even be released, as they are unresponsive. with a note to please give the impacted family and friends the proper respect. We then get the context that this interview takes place 3 years after the disappearance of local Sarah Trills. We also have what appears to be another damaged face hanging on the right side of the video.
Hello, my name is Kim. I worked on Chezz.com, the project by Sarah Trills. I believe I joined the team in 2001.
This mystery man was a former developer for Chezz.com, working alongside Sarah starting in 2001.
Sarah, she was a friend of my sister at the time, so I knew her then pretty well. Like, I'd see her around, and we've talked. Like, I knew she was, and I knew about Harrison. My sister being friends with Sarah, of course she would talk about him to a lot of other people.
This developer knew Sarah and Harrison through his sister. Perhaps his sister is Ellen. He also brings up how Sarah created what seems to be a very toxic workplace environment.
There's definitely a difference in what the media was saying about Sarah and her little project and what was really going down. Like, not what a lot of the articles looked like. It was a very different atmosphere from anywhere else I worked. I signed up for it and did a lot of the backgrounds for minigames and such, but the way that Sarah works the people under her was something that I had never seen before. If you signed up to be an artist, you'd end up also being a voice actor and a programmer and help with menial tasks around the workspace. Even some music I had to dip my toes into. Everyone was really hands-on with the project, whether they wanted to be or not. I was young, so, I had no clue what any sort of malpractice would look like. I remember Sarah, a lot of the media that's been shown, in the podcast she was on for the Oregon State College campus, she's been shown as, a really innocent, sweet person, but honestly, a lot of the issues I had were with Sarah. She would really not communicate with her staff, which of course led to things being late and past the due dates, which she then blamed on us. She would go on long tangents about, trying to achieve the next big thing, which, we were hoping for a big blowout sensation, that mostly being because we got paid depending on the amount of traffic the website was getting and the progress that we made.
When asked if he knows what happened to any of the developers, he says,
"Where are they now? Man, I have no idea. I've stayed in contact with a couple of people since I left in 2003, but those relationships fizzled out. I've been feeling this strange feeling ever since I left. It might be the medication I got on around the same time, but it's the feeling of being watched. It's horrible."
Once again, we have that set of eyes. The screen blackens as we hear muffled screaming and get a cleaner look at the person on the side of the video. No cheating. The video starts with the text Chezz Kids Tutorial. A very distorted Yankee Doodle plays in the background. We then have Make Sure, Big Choice, and 3 carrots flash on screen. A disfigured hand with 4 digits, the word embittered, and the red in the video drops, revealing what appears to be the woods as a blue heart fades from blurry, and the video ends. Valentine Chezz Kids Vocal.mp3. Though this isn't the first or last audio clip in this series, it's the first we've looked at. The audio clip seems to be from the Valentine card minigame. However, the song is what's interesting about this video, because it's Chester covering the Beatles song, I'll Get You.
Because I know, I've imagined I'm in love with you many times before. Not like me to pretend, but I'll get you in the end. Yes, I will, I'll get you in the end. Oh yeah.
Yet another reference to a Beatles song in the series. Harry's Farm Game. One of our last major uploads to the Chezz Kids channel. We uncovered the Harry's Farm minigame. This being an overworld on Harry's farm with multiple things to interact with, games to play, and ways to help Harry. Once again, we see the red flowers on Harry's farm. The first game we get into is with Hopper the Rabbit. Hopper has spilled ink on some fruits and vegetables, and we have to identify them. If we look closely, however, we can see Woodsy Worm barely peeking behind the fence. After we complete this game, the recorder chooses to mess around with the corny joke teller before going to Harry's carrot picking game.
Here's a good one for you. What did the truthful asparagus say to the rude peach? You're rotten to the pit.
If we turn the captions on, we're revealed with a string of random letters and numbers, yet another cipher. The goal of the minigame is to pick the biggest carrots for Harry so he can once again win the Mayhill Blue Ribbon. However, our recorder doesn't seem to be playing the game correctly, only choosing the bottom left carrot 3 times before we hear them begin to type something. The game breaks down and the ground assets disappear, revealing the background of the minigame. A blue heart with eyes lays staring. The game then crashes and we're taken to a black screen where we can hear perhaps a car engine, a voice. It's incredibly hard to tell. So what happened with the cipher? The cipher revealed reads, to press his big carrot 3 times and type embittered into the keyboard. To access his real voice, make sure microphone and webcam is turned on. Will never work without it. This is roughly the same instructions from the no cheating video. Whoever recorded this footage knew this secret, or was being guided to this Easter egg specifically. Regardless of the intent of this footage, it's clear someone on the dev team was hiding secrets in the site prior to its closure. We're shown a red set of lines as well as 4 of the red flowers, all on a green background. The game then boots again to the starting cutscene. The audio on Harry is now incredibly distorted.
Oh, hey there, Chezz.
And before he finishes talking, we're shown a real photo of a farm, before being taken back to the overworld of the farm. We click the fruit quiz minigame. The game is seemingly unfinished, with audio being heavily distorted. The older assets will flicker back and forth, and several audio clips still have the placeholder.
A little unusual. Can you use audio?
Harry's face appears at the bottom of the screen, disfigured. We go through selecting the fruits Harry lists off, the game bugging along the way, before we reach the cherries section. We're shown an image that's almost impossible to make out and are quickly taken to Harry's shed. Harry has lost his tools in the woods and asks us if we can go and retrieve them for him. We're given a list and taken to the woods once again. We travel through the woods until we come across the shovel and what appears to be a face hidden in the darkness. Moving to the left, we come across a completely unseen before character.
Hey there, Pally. I've seen better days. I've been in this forest all rusted for who knows how long. Say, if you're sticking around here, do you think you could find an oil can to help loosen up my joints so I can get back on my feet. You do? Oh, well, that's good. Thank you, Carolyn. Come back with the oil can if you can.
We keep looking for Harry's tools. We find the axe and the pillow, before stumbling across a red square, previously seen in the Hopper minigame. It's a book of poems addressed to Sarah herself, with Sarah being blacked out. You can pause to read these, as I'm just going to go over what they mean. The first is a love poem about honey and bees, notably the line, "If we shared a hive, you're all the honey I'd need," as well as the bee on the page's face looking awfully similar to Woodsy Worm's design. The second poem, a love poem as well, talks about cherry lips. This is referring to Sarah and her red lipstick. Also explains why she showed up when the cherries were called in Harry's farm. Our third poem is about a rabbit who enjoys eating the farmer's carrots, before eventually the farmer has to take out the shotgun from the shed, and now tonight we're eating rabbit stew, complete with carrots. Between the thorns and roses is hard for me to decipher its entire meaning of. Smiling Man is about a man who is happy with his job, kids, wife, and home, when one day he shows up back home, and his wife is gone, with a note on the fridge that says, goodbye. Notably, he can't seem to remember his wife's name. The Way We Love is filled with telling different ways love is. Some are sweeter, and some are disturbing, such as, love is the way we hold each other, juxtaposed by things like, love is the way you talk behind my back, or love is the way you call me bad names. It reads in an incredibly unhinged fashion, with the last pages showing a black and white picture of what appears to be Harrison. And lastly, farm kitties. The cat doesn't belong on the farm with the other animals. They eat the food on the farm, but maybe the cat likes the farm because he can lay in the hay, lick his paws, and self-soothe. At the bottom we can see For You My Love with Harrison's name at the bottom, though the last name is too hard to make out. In similar fashion to the series, the game boots us back to the homepage once again, rounding out the video. With this video, however, came the link to the official Chezz Kids Archive website. Chezz website. The website is sprawling with content, hidden links, alt text in the page source, nearly a sound file on every single page. For brevity, I won't go through it all, and I'm simply going to go through the key details that I find important. The main site is titled In Her Memories, 2000 to 2003. Starting from the top of the page, we have the 2 channel links, the Chezz Kids email Q&A, questions asked from the public and answers from whoever's running the account. The 3 most notable things on this page are the picture of Sarah in a green sweater and red lipstick with the file name of the image being lovely.png, the favorite color of the archive team collectively being green, and the multiple misspellings plaguing the site. We have an article explaining what Chezz.com was and what this project is dedicated to. We then have a clickable door we're going to gloss over for the time being, as well as another cipher. If we click the image of the farm that is the same used in the Harry minigame, we get a conversation between Sarah and Harry. And right about here. Whoa, you can really see the sky from here. This could be our little spot away from all that junk. Can I ask you something? Is everything okay? Yeah, it's just all of this. You aren't making any sense. I just want things to stay like this. Yeah. What is it? Your smile, it's cute. Not as cute as yours. Your lips are like cherries. You flatter me. I'm so lucky you have no idea. Trust me, I'm the lucky one. You're warm. Here, it's getting late. We should get out of here. Will I see you tomorrow? Of course. The page is titled Memories. The file name for the song on the page is Under the Tree, with the song being Painful Memories by the Shags. Underneath this, we have the words, "Nosy, nosy, nosy," titled, "You're Pathetic." The URL is Mayhill Farms, with a painting of a man staring into a field of red flowers. The text on the page reads, "Who are you running from? My old treehouse was right there. Ha 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 ha." A small image can be seen when enlarged reveals Sarah and Harry's initials. The photo being titled "The Way," presumably "The Way You Love Me," with the alt text being "I miss it." Meet the Chezz kids. This is one of the first winding paths we can find on the website. The page being an introductory and biography of all the characters. Most notably, we get the confirmation that Lola is indeed played by Ellen Masterson. Scrolling further down, we have an empty image that says placeholder. We can assume that this is where Woodsy Worm should be. At the bottom, we have a picture of the man we found in the forest, who'd been stuck there for a while. Looking at the page source, strangely enough, we find the alt text for Hopper is "Better luck next time," and for Harry it's "Self-soothe." We also find out the name of the man from the forest is Al, with oil can being the alt text. Clicking Al takes us to the same page with the URL being "I could just smile." Clicking Al again at the bottom of this page takes us to another page that prompts the message "Nosy, nosy, nosy," with the URL now being "Who are you hiding from?" The Chezz Kids bio page repeats multiple times, with things of note being the appearance of the eyes that we've grown to look for, with the file name question.png. We also have the text "Sally Goodbye," with its one and only appearance being on this page. If you go to the bottom of the page, you'll find a clickable owl link that takes you to this page. The URL being "O." Multiple links across the site will bring you to this page, all with their own unique URL. However, the content will never change. The name of this page being "Who Are You Running From?" The eyes once again staring back at us, with the title text, "Where did you go?" The request page was not found, pasted all the way until the bottom, with "Please stop lying to me," breaking up the chain at the top. If we scroll down to the bottom, we can find a few pixels here. There's an image in this corner, and opening the page source, the image is titled "The Way You Made Me," with the alt text being "Say sorry." The image when opened is of a man with long brown messy hair, shirtless and covered in blood. Is this Harrison? Or is this the man responsible for the missing developers? If we go back to the previous character page and click a specific owl, we're taken to the page Smart. The image from the background is on screen in better quality if you'd like to pause and read it. It's basically Sarah leaving a texture in-game, chewing out the dev team for their lack of quality and work ethic. Once again, clicking owl on this page will take us to Woods. We found Woodsy. The text reads, "You found me." It's the same Chezz Kids bio page, but as we scroll, Woodsy gets bigger and bigger before we're met with another dialogue. "We need to talk, now. God, will you calm down? You are always crying. Can you stop? I miss when you were smiling. Smile for me, please. I want you to smile. I want us to smile." With, "Where are you going?" repeated till the end of the page, where we're met with a horrifyingly decayed face. The name of this image being, "Oh, you couldn't tell?" Clicking the face brings us to the page URL, "I saw you." The face is now massively blown up, with the link at the bottom that refreshes the page reading, "I truly thought you believed in me." This may be a wild hair, but most of the pages on this website have music accompanied with them. The file name for Wood's music is Over You, and this page is She's Still Around. Strangely enough, if you download and look into the details of these files, they're both under the song Crying by Roy Orbison. While this could just be a sample used to make the sound, I don't think that's the case. That's the main website for the Chezz Kids archive. Now let's take a look at that Reddit account I mentioned earlier. This Reddit account is directly linked to the ARG. The first post being the last few characters in the link to the first video on the Sarah and Harry channel. The second being an anagram for Sarah Trill's "cannot be dead." The third being the cipher for the word embittered, followed by a comment saying, "and I think to myself." And the fourth being another cipher link. Solving for this cipher brings us to another page on the Chezz Archive website. This time being an early 2000s blog site for a certain Mark Lau. This is our Lau M9 from the top 10 excerpt. Notably, we have some more information on Mark, his favorite hobbies, one of which being obscure media, and one of his biggest fears, being watched. We also have a set of links. From bottom to top we have something scary, which redirects us to the Chezz.com homepage, something funny, which shows us a video of a man dressed as a pizza dancing in front of a Papa John's, something crazy, redirecting us to the Who Are You Running From page with the URL Bishop, See My Top Movies, which does the same, but with the URL Night, and Top Music Artist takes us to the URL Key, with the title of the page being the choices we make, and the photo is an upside down red easel in the middle of a field. This is the same red lines that we saw in the Harry's Farm video that was surrounded by the red flower. Inspecting the source, this photo is called Nevermore, with the alt text being, "My face feels like it's on fire. It stings so much." A similar page can be found if we click this image of Mark here, this time with a picture of Mark titled, "Goodbye Forever," with the same stinging alt text on his picture. Blog post takes us to the Chezz Kids YouTube channel with a public video called Sound Compilation. This video is a series of sounds found throughout Chezz Kids, nothing incredibly notable until the last few seconds where we get a picture of the upper half of a man's face. While this could be Harrison, I believe that this is our new friend Mark here. If you're actually looking for Mark's blog, you can click this very tiny dancing yellow guy here. While mostly these posts are just about him going through the motions of being a newly graduated high schooler, two posts on here really stick out. We first have a memorial post to the man from the interview on the Harry and Sarah account. His name is Caleb, and it appears he died a few months after the interview took place. We also have this odd post that starts with what seems to be a file directory for a computer. Does anyone remember an old minigame from the ChezzKid.com where it was like a room where you could talk to what seemed like a chatbot? I have vivid memories of playing that game on my parents' computer late at night and just typing for hours. It actually helped me get better at using a keyboard in a funny way. Only thing I can remember is that it was like a face looking back at me from the computer. Cartoony, not realistic. Anyone else have a similar memory or any info on it if it was real or something my young mind made up? Thanks, M9. While the prospect of an AI chatbot on Chezz Kids is really interesting to me, I think it's going to be a major plot device moving forward in the series. This stands out to me heavily as it's posted not only on Mark's blog, but on the Reddit account from before, and the Chezz Kids Archive channel's community tab. Under this cipher, we solve it with the code The Raven. Two more pages that sparked my interest on the Chezz Kids Archive is the hopping pages. The first page being the poem of the hare from the farm video, with the title of the page being Better Hurry, All the Good Houses Are. As we scroll down, we find a sideways picture of a clown. Clicking the clown takes us to a webpage titled Be Out Of, with this clown figure repeated, set to a starry background. Heading back to the homepage, we can solve this cipher now using the key What a Wonderful World. The solved cipher reads, "Yes, I am the great pretender, just laughing and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not. You see, I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still around." While there's more pages to explore, I'll leave these for you to uncover, as it's time to open this door. Another Sarah and Harry channel video. A face stares back at us with a robotic noise drilling in the background, the title reading Crying Over You. text pops up. I don't like it when they raise their voices, and I don't want to do this anymore. You've done nothing but hurt me, and I'm tired. The description reads, "Can I talk to you like a normal person for once?" with another link to a video called 1998. This time, an unlisted video from the Chezz Kids account. The first thing we're met with is the familiar yes button. Something pops up that's hard to make out, but for a second it clears, revealing the hopping clown. A clown appears on screen dancing for us before eventually we're shown another man's face in the background. Another cipher in the description can be solved using the key "Sarah Trills cannot be dead," revealing the text "Harry the Hopping Clown." We're coming to the end, everybody. We have 4 more videos to take a look at, and they all come from the main Chezz Kids archive account. Bumptitle.mp3. Another audio upload starts out fairly normally before we hear a man humming. A distorted reverse audio clip of the Valentine's song plays, before a picture of a man in a red sweater and a woman in a green sweater is in. After this upload, a live stream was aired to the Chezz Kids account, which seemingly has vanished. Though, thankfully, the user Jack on YouTube has archived the Chezz Kids account's messages during this live stream. Who is Sally? Do you have eyes? Educational fun. Her favorite. My eyes are like empty holes in my head. Mom? I can't see. It's your baby boy still. Can you call her and say I'm sorry I didn't let her know I was okay? I'm a turtle in a shell. My memory is empty. How do I not remember? Digital recording 802109. I heard she was chopped up into little pieces. I heard he threw her in a fire and let her skin melt off. I heard they ate her like a Thanksgiving turkey. You are such idiots, those rumors aren't real. Maybe it's real, you don't know. This is a real missing person. Be respectful. This user has left the conversation. So do you think those rumors are true? No, probably just some dumb jokes. I'm glad we're in this together. I would have got creeped out if I was alone. While this was going on, we had an unheard joke from the corny joke teller. This repeats several times, as well as a reading of the Smiling Man poem.
Here's a good one for you. Why did the boulder break up with her boyfriend? Because she took him for granite. Break up with her boyfriend. Break up with her boyfriend. Break up with her boyfriend. Break up with her break up with her boyfriend. Break up. Took older because she's older because she's
The next video, Have a Holly Jolly Christmas with Chester, is a Christmas video card. Chester sings the classic Christmas song,
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
But towards the end, we're shown yet another picture of Sarah, this time her face severely burned and disfigured behind the singing cat. And our final video, 2004-03-11. A video from the Chezz movie section. Notably, this video was archived from 2004, the year the site shut down. The video shows a man walking through the forest. Eerie music plays while Chester chimes in multiple times.
Loss is something that everybody has to deal with once in a while.
This is truly the most interesting part of the video. Whoever this person is, they're once again looking for Sarah in the woods. Our description is another cipher when using the key pawn brings us the following. He's not your little boy anymore. And that is Chezz Kids Archive up until this is what I would have said. Coming at the end of editing this absolutely massive video, the Chezz Kids Archive account announced yesterday that today, on March 21st, we would have a new video uploaded. So I've just watched the new episode, and I've waited until now to include it in the final product. Along with the announcement yesterday, there was also a 2-hour and 41-minute video released on the Sarah and Harry channel. It's mostly just this droning noise, but some people have speculated that maybe it's a really long, stretched out audio clip, which was my thought as well, so I tried and to no success. However, I put the entire audio clip in a Google Drive if anyone wants to download it and give it your own shot. Anyways, let's get into that new video. Halloween screen gameplay. This is a recording of a special Halloween game on Chezz.com. We get a cutscene with all the characters in their cute little costumes, and we also get what I think is the first voice lines ever from Benny at this point. Before, he's rudely cut off by Tim.
No, kid.
No, I didn't get all dressed up, Dad.
The game opens to its landing page. The Chezz kids all sit on the bottom left side of the screen, and the 4 mini-games hover in the air. Looks like we have coloring pages, a monster with Boo underneath it, spooky turkey, and apple bobbing. The recorder, however, clicks between the houses, and we're taken to a tombstone that says, "Here lies your name." The recorder then clicks the worm before going back to the overworld again. We sit here for a while before clicking the monster Boo icon. We load in and get a glimpse of a yellow flower, a break from the red flowers we're used to seeing, before a pumpkin appears and
Happy Halloween!
the Boo minigame being one of those prank games that you'd send to your friends. My mind immediately goes to the Nickelodeon Black Licorice game.
Thank you. Black licorice.
Anyways, that's Woodsy Worm behind the mask. The hair on the mask is very reminiscent of when Sarah was sitting behind Lola in the birthday party cutscene. Woodsy appears on the screen and says, "Let's play, I think?" We cut to black, and I need to give a flashing lights warning here. We get 2 images flashing opposite of each other, both of which being of women. The hopping clown flashing occasionally in the middle of it. We have somebody saying stop that repeats gaining volume until we're shown Woodsy in a now darkened room, with the text bubble, "Goodbye Forever," the same file name as Mark's photo on the It Stings So Much blog page. We then cut back to the overworld where the video ends. Before I let my past self take the video back over and explain my theory for the series as a whole, I want to add 2 things. Firstly, the whole flashing women thing with the clown appearing between them is very symbolic to me of perhaps a love triangle. This is a theory I had cooking up in my head for a while, but I could be way off the mark. I don't know. Maybe just keep an eye on that going forward into the series. And secondly, this series is really handled with such love, and I have nothing but the deepest respect for it. It truly knows how to deliver on that early 2000s Flash era nostalgia, and even with my breakdown, I highly recommend just watching the videos on their own just for the artistic design of it all. Okay, I gotta get this video out, so goodbye. Here's my running theory for it. Sarah Trills, romantically involved with Harrison M., starts a website in the early 2000s. Wanting the site to be the next big innovative thing, she puts all her time and effort into it. Sarah puts the same pressure on her coworkers, Harrison, Caleb, Ella, and 3 others, making a very toxic and stressful work environment. Sarah becomes more withdrawn from Harrison as she forces herself to make this the site of her dreams. Harrison, still madly in love with Sarah, tries to get her to take a break for a while and rekindle their relationship. Sarah doesn't take this lightly, however, and it begins the ultimate downfall of their relationship. They start arguing more, which eventually ends with Harrison breaking up with Sarah. Sarah, distraught by this, would go to the woods where her and Harrison would frequently spend time, this ultimately ending in her disappearance and death. This is around the same time that Chezz begins to start having multiple problems. Harrison worried when Sarah hasn't shown up to the Chezz Kids studio in the following days of their breakup. Harrison leaves looking for her. Heading to the woods thinking she might be there, Harrison is met with a very similar fate as Sarah. This being from who I can only assume is the person running the Sarah and Harry Lovers in Death YouTube account. Harrison being deemed the hopping clown, and the hair story immediately comes to my mind. I can only assume it's someone who has watched these two grow in a relationship and was working closely with them at the studio. After the two disappear, the site goes offline, with everyone at the studio getting picked off one by one. Their souls going on to haunt more and more of the site that they poured their blood, sweat, and tears into. In the years following, many people remember the site Chezz.com and come across the chilling story of these disappearances. One of these being Mark Lau, who was fairly close to a former employee at Chezz, Caleb. Mark, being obsessed with obscure media, starts uncovering more information on the site. He starts a website dedicated to documenting Chezz.com. Although his grammar and spelling hadn't gotten much better from the early years of his blog, he found a surprising amount of information on this lost site. With the help of his friend Maddie, another avid fan of Chezz.com, the pair uncover more and more of this seemingly lost version of Chezz.com. Chat room conversations from a person telling them rumors of the creator's demise. Videos of the sites before it went offline, all corrupted, all hiding how and where the creators went, through cryptic puzzles or through hidden secrets in the games. Mark, however, is sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, and through his nosy actions, ends up at the hands of the same person who got Caleb, who got Harrison, and who got Sarah. Through one way or another, it seems as if we're being shown Mark's findings, be it Sarah or even Mark now, somehow trapped in this thing that he poured his blood, sweat, and tears into. The person who runs the Harry and Sarah account seems to be toying with our main Chezz Kids account. They seem to have back and forth with each other, and this Harry and Sarah account sports the profile picture of Mark, the man who's had his eyes removed. That is simply just my theory though. There's a lot in this series that is yet to be seen, and I feel as if this series is ramping up to reveal something very big very soon. In the meantime though, there is still secrets that have yet to be solved. Like this 16-minute long video that no one has been able to crack the meaning of, as well as a cipher on Mark's page that doesn't yet have an answer. I've left some amazing resources in the description for you all to get started on this Chezz.com journey. Who knows, maybe even one of you will be the one to unlock the next clue in this absolutely bone-chilling ARG. Before we leave, I want to leave you with some things to be on the lookout for as we move forward in this series. The meaning of the blue heart. Who possibly would have the motive to do the things that are being done? And what is the AI chatbot? And with that, thank you all so much for sticking through this video. I know it was a long one, but I hope it was worth it. This is by far one of the most intriguing ARGs that is currently going on, and I think more people need to be a part of it because it is just criminally underrated. Special thanks to my Rat King Patreon, Bohan Fedosievich, and I've been your host, Pat Ratrick, and until next time, it's getting dark out, so stay out of the woods.